Today I want to talk about something very important, specifically how to build a mechanism or a system or machine for getting readers from where they are now to where you want them to be. And to illustrate this point, I've built something very, very cool. So let's go take a look. So, the reasons for building that and showing you that are twofold, really. And the first reason, most important reason, is of course building marble runs is fun. And the second reason is I really wanted to show you how important it is to have a defined path to take a reader from where they are now to where you want them to be, which is of course buying your books. And there are many different ways of doing this, just as there are many different ways of building a marble run. But in today's episode, I want to show you a very simple machine or mechanism or system that you can build quickly and easily to get readers onto your platform and getting more eyeballs on your books. So that's what we're focusing on today. Let's jump in.
You give me feelings that I never thought I would feel. You give me meaning. It is too.
Right, today I'm stuck in the office because the rain is getting even worse than before and I'm basically not going out in that. So my job today is to try and make this relatively small space look as interesting as possible. So you can let me know in the comments how you think I did. Also, quick note, that chair thing, that took like 7 takes, but I didn't knock the camera over, so we're doing well. Now, all that aside, today I want to talk about something important, and that is reader funnels. So I'll explain what they are and why they're so helpful right now. Right, important thing to remember about people buying stuff online is they go through a journey towards the decision to buy something, and this is called various things. It could be the journey to the sale or purchase decisions or some equally boring name, but the idea is that someone's going to go from their current state, which is not having what you're selling, your books, to the state you want them to be in, which is giving you money for your books. And to get from that state to the state you want them to be in, they have to go through a few stages. And those stages are, in a nutshell, attention, interest, desire, and action. Action. In other words, if you want to sell something to somebody, your books, for example, you first need to get their attention. Then you have to get them interested. Then you have to stoke their desires to actually buy the book. And then you have to get them to take action. So in all the other videos, when I talk about cover design and book descriptions and interior layouts and websites and sales pages, these are all designed to combat something on that journey. So there's always going to be barriers to the sale that occur at any one of those stages, and your marketing materials are there to break down those barriers and move people along smoothly along that journey to actually buy your books. So the first barrier is, of course, getting somebody's attention in the first place, and this is where stuff like your titles and your covers really come into play, and to a degree your pricing as well. So for example, a free book is going to get more attention naturally than a paid book, but just getting attention, just getting traffic isn't enough by itself. And this is why a lot of people struggle when it comes to using paid ads, is because they think about the traffic being the only thing they need to worry about, that somehow just getting traffic to the book is going to result in magical things happening, which unfortunately isn't the case, because you still have to lead people through that interest, desire, and action phase as well. And it's only when you get all of those things right that good things happen. So ads are fantastic for getting traffic, but that only deals with the first part of the equation. So what we need to think about is the entire journey. So what I like to refer to this as is the reader funnel. So imagine a ton of people coming in the top of this funnel, and then it getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and at the bottom is where the sale happens. So you've got lots of people coming in the top, and then usually fewer people buying it at the end. But the higher your conversion rate, the less narrow that funnel is going to be, metaphorically speaking, and the more money you're going to make overall. So the reader funnel's job is to maximize the attention, but then also lead people through those other stages to maximize the conversion rate at the end and bring you a higher return on your investment. So in today's episode, we're going to look at what that funnel needs to consist of and how to build it. So let's go. Right, so we've talked previously about reader magnets. So in other words, a free book that you're offering in exchange for an email address. This is a great way of getting attention, but it also leads to you being able to follow up on the rest of the stages as well, because you're collecting the email address. You can follow up with your own marketing message. So let's take a look at that. Right, so getting someone's email address is so important because we don't really get a lot of space or time on our Amazon book pages to actually make the impact we need to make in order to get someone to buy. So we can't really pique someone's interest and desire and action overly effectively from just a sales page. But with an email sequence, for example, you can really dig deep into what makes people interested in you, your brand, and what you have to offer. So running ads to your book page can be extremely effective if you've got the conversion rate and the read through to your other books to make up for the spend. But you should also be growing an email list at the same time. Whatever your experience with ads, having that built-in audience means that launches are easier, promotions are easier, getting reviews is easier, and your overall impact is a lot easier. And if ads aren't working for you, then email is a fantastic alternative that has a much higher ROI, because in essence, you're not really spending anything to grow it, at least not at first. And this is why it's such a powerful strategy for beginners to use, because it doesn't require a huge budget to get going. The technology isn't overly complicated, especially these days, and you get to see in real time the impact of your marketing efforts and the results that your books are getting. You know, you're getting emails back from readers telling you how much they loved your books and being able to see all the people clicking on your emails, reading them. It's a great way of figuring out what your audience is actually interested in. So if you want to lead people from that attention gathering phase where you're generating traffic through into interest, desire, and action, building up an email list is a fantastic way of doing it. And for the rest of the episode, I want to take you through some of the mechanics of how to get it set up. So let's head on over to the computer. All right, so we are at the computer, and I'm going to take you through how to build a relatively simple mechanism to get people from where they are now, which might be Amazon or iBooks or any of the other ebook stores, and onto your own platform. So just like the marble run, you're kind of designing this path for them to follow where the end goal is the sale. And a quick note as well, all the website stuff you're going to see in this video, it's all done by our website software and service, which is AuthorKats. And we will basically be able to set you up with something that looks and functions exactly as you'll see today. And we've got a very special deal on for Black Friday. So more on that in a minute. Check the link in the description if you're interested. But for now, I want to jump straight in. So the first point then is, in terms of the marble run again, you know, where are you going to get the marbles from? So where are you going to get the people from in the first place? So you might remember earlier on, I mentioned you've got those 4 stages: attention, interest, desire, and action. Well, to get somebody's attention, in other words, to drive traffic to the top of your machine, your funnel, you have to be able to drive people there. So one of the easiest ways to do this is by using free books on Amazon. So here's a non-fiction example from me. My book, Reader Magnets, is permanently free on Kindle and a bunch of other ebook stores as well, which means it gets dozens and dozens and dozens of downloads every single day, and it doesn't cost me anything. So when I'm running a promotion on it, I might be paying for ads or doing a cross promotion or whatever it might be. It gets a ton of downloads, but on a day-to-day basis, when I'm not promoting it, it's still getting a fair few through as well. And this is all driving people to the top of my funnel so that they can get onto my email list and see all the other stuff from me, and then eventually hopefully buy something. So inside the book is the offer, the Reader Magnet offer, which is basically just offering something relevant to the content of the book. In this case, it's video training for authors. They click a link and they can sign up
for my email list. And it's the same with fiction as well. So my book Wanted, I used to have this permanently free, but right now I am driving advertising to it. So that's another way of getting traffic as well. Obviously, with advertising, you have to pay. With a free book, it's kind of just free and people will see it anyway. And then you can pay for advertising if you want to boost that. But if you're not doing free books and free promotions, you need to be doing something else to drive traffic. So in this case, I'm driving some paid ads to this book. But similarly, inside the book, when they download it, or click on the look inside, or get a sample, they'll be able to see the Reader Magnet offer here. In this case, it's another book in the series. So again, it's relevant to the book that they're looking at. So with this one, they click a link and they are taken through to a landing page, which is a very specific page on my website that's designed entirely to get people to sign up for my email list. So you'll notice there's no menus at the top. There's kind of no other links to other places. They can scroll down and find out a bit more about the book. So there's some review snippets in there, some images, a bit more about the book, some more reviews, and then just repeating the offer at the bottom. So there's no other links to places where I could lose them, which is incredibly important. So as a result of that, because people aren't getting distracted, this page converts at around 60%. So that's huge. You know, compared to a page with a bunch of random links on it, it could be 3, 4, even 5 times more effective. So what happens next is they click this button here, they enter their email address, which I'll pop in here. And quick tip, if you want to test, just have your regular email address, but then add plus something just before the @ sign. So I'm going to go testing website 555. I don't know. That's just a random number in case I've already used it. So I have no idea. Just I have a little box here as well where people can tick a box to confirm that they've read my privacy policy, just in case there's any kind of privacy concerns later on. But that's optional. You can add that if you like. And then they click the button and they will get subscribed to my email list behind the scenes. And they'll get a welcome email. And they'll also get forwarded to this success page, a thank you page, which is designed basically to get them to go and pick up what it is that they just signed up for. But also it's a great opportunity to offer a bit of an upsell as well. So I've also said, hey, you know, you're interested in this particular book you've just got for free, but would you like to take a look at getting the next 2 books in the series for a discounted price when you buy them together? If so, click the red button and you can go buy the bundle. It's worth having because even if only a small percentage buy it, that still kind of ups the average revenue that you're making per subscriber. So that's quite a cool function. But the main job of this page, if you don't want to have an upsell on it, is just to tell people, when I've sent you an email, go and check your email and pick up the book that you've just signed up for. So that's what this page will do. Now we're going to head over to my email and pick up the notification. Okay, so here's the email, and this is sent out automatically when somebody joins my mailing list on that specific page. So if you have multiple different books, you can set up different welcome emails for different books and different sequences, but this is the one for Paydown. So people get this within a couple of minutes of signing up, and it just contains a little reminder of what it is that they've just signed up for and a link to go get it. And it also contains a little notice here about what's coming up later. So some more cool stuff coming their way, and just a little bit of text, a little bit of copy about, you know, what I'm all about, what my brand's about, and what to expect from me. So that's a really good way of kind of setting the scene and getting people familiar with you, because later on down the line, when you're asking them to buy one of your paid books, or you're doing a promotion or a launch, you know, the more that people are familiar with you, the more they like you, the more likely they are to buy. So we'll talk about those welcome sequences in just a moment. But first, we're just going to click this link here and go pick up the free book. So this link will take me back to my site here, where they can then download the book. So this link is kind of hidden from the public, so it's not listed anywhere, so they can't find it unless they've signed up, or they could guess the URL, which never happens. So I send this link to them, they go over here, they click this red button, and then they can choose the device they want to read on. So the slightly complicated thing about proper ebooks that are designed to work on e-readers like Kindles and Nooks and apps like that is they're not just PDFs. They are very specific types of files. They may be a Mobi file, which is for Amazon Kindle, or they might be an EPUB file, which is basically for everybody else. And you can't just open up an EPUB or Mobi file on most mobile devices. EPUBs you can a little bit, Mobis you can't. You have to kind of read them within the app, within the program that's designed them. So it gets a little bit complicated depending on what device people want to read on, which is why I've got different instructions included here. So people can click this and decide what it is they want to read on. So if they're on a Nook, they get one set of instructions. If they're on a Kindle e-reader, they get a different set of instructions. If they're on the app for their phone, they get a different set of instructions, etc., etc. But basically, all they have to do is click that button there, and then they'll be able to download the book file, open it up, and read it. And that's them on my platform now. They're in my email list. They are receiving their free book, and they're getting to know me and my writing. And that's the point where then later on, I can follow up with them with some email sequences. And I'm just going to jump on over to a little program called Funalytics, which is completely free, but it's like it's a way of graphically organizing how an email sequence might work. So I'm just going to open up one example on here to show you what might happen next. And a quick note on software, it really doesn't matter what email service you're using. You might use MailChimp, you might use MailerLite, ConvertKit, Aweber, GetResponse, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft, whatever it might be, really doesn't matter as long as you're happy with it. One of my favorites for beginners is MailerLite because they give you 1,500 subscribers for free and they have all the features. Some of the other ones like MailChimp have a free plan, but they restrict some of the features. So MailerLite right now is kind of my number one recommendation if you're getting started, completely free. And you can set up sequences that look a little bit like this, that just show you what's going to happen when someone signs up. So on the left-hand side here, we've got the traffic source. So the attention part, where are they coming from? Are they coming from the reader magnet inside my book? Are they coming from my Facebook page or a Facebook ad? Are they coming from search? Whatever it might be. You can actually have a different landing page set up for each one of these. So you could have landing page / reader magnet, landing page / Facebook, landing page / search, and then when someone enters from that particular form, you then know where they have come from, so that you can check your stats and go, well, 60% of people are signing up from the reader magnets landing page, so that's where the majority of my traffic's coming from. That's where I'm going to focus, for example. But you just saw a minute ago the opt-in email, which is just kind of welcoming people. So this is the opt-in page. And then there was the welcome email, which gives people the link to go get the book and then tells them what's going to happen. If you're using double opt-in, you might have to get someone to click a link first to just confirm their email address and then send them the welcome email, however it works. But this is an example of what might happen next. So you've given them the links, and then in the next email, you might tell them what's going to happen next. And then in the next email, you might invite them over to your Facebook group. And this is a really good tip as well. It's another way of reaching people. So email, as good as it is, isn't going to reach everybody all the time. So if you can get people onto multiple different platforms, that's always good. I'd recommend getting them on email as a priority. But then if you can invite them over to your Facebook group, your readers group over there as well, that's a really powerful thing. So then you've got another way of reaching them. And that's just an example of a very, very simple little welcome series. You can get more complicated ones as well. We'll just go back and have a look at some other ones in here. So a welcome series can be just a simple linear thing, or it could kind of branch off into different things as well. So here's an example here. We'll have a look at this one where there's a little bit more going on. And again, MailerLite and all the other email services can kind of do this as well. So again, we've got the traffic source on the left-hand side, opt-in page, welcome series. They're going to get an intro email with the links. They're going to get a second email. And then depending on what they do, this is where it gets kind of a little bit more sophisticated, is in this case, if they click something in that email, they go into one sequence. If they don't click on a link, they go into a different sequence, which can be very cool. If they don't click at all, you can send them re-engagement emails saying, hey, I've noticed you've not picked up your free book. Do you want to have another go at it? Are you having issues? If so, just click here. And then if they don't click anything for a certain amount of time, maybe 60 days, you can then automatically remove them or set a little reminder to go in and just manually get rid of everyone who's not engaged. That's another example of one as well. So after the welcome series, you might want to look at a sales sequence. So maybe you've got someone coming onto your mailing list, they've had their welcome sequence, which lasts a couple of weeks, but then you want to introduce them to another one of your books, or maybe you've got a new launch coming up and you want to tell people about it. And that might look a little bit like this here. So we'll have a look at this one. This is a fairly long one, but you should get the idea with this one. So this is kind of everything together. Someone opts in, they get their welcome email, wait a day, and then there's a few more emails in the welcome series. But then a week later, they start going into the launch sequence. So we've got pre-launch emails here, just telling people about what's coming up. I've got this new book coming up. It's really cool. Here's the cover. Here's a little snippet. Here's an example. Here's everything that's going to happen. I've got some cool bonuses lined up for you if you buy in the first week, which is a very cool tip as well, because then you'll get more people buying during that really important first week of sales. If you offer a limited time bonus, you can pop a link in the back of the book with a free short story or something. It doesn't even have to be your own book. You could team up with another author and say, hey, if you buy my book in the first week, you can get Bob's book for free as well. Something like that. Simple, but it works. And then the launch emails are coming in. You don't necessarily need to have as many as this, but the principle is the same. So you've got this welcome series, you've got a bit of a pre-launch going on, then you've got the launch emails, and then after the launch, you can send out a survey, and you can see if people purchased and you can tag them appropriately, or if they didn't purchase, you can ask them, is there anything I could do better? There's lots and lots of stuff that you can do with email that you just can't do with anything else. You couldn't do this with advertising. You couldn't do this with Facebook Messenger. You couldn't do this with Twitter or your Facebook page. Email is pretty much the only way of doing this. So moving people through those stages, that attention, interest, desire, and action, is a lot easier to do when you've got someone's email address, because you can send them the marketing materials, the stories, and the content that's going to push them through those stages. And it kind of all starts with getting people onto that email list. So having that landing page where people can sign up without getting distracted. Having that success page that tells people what to do next and maybe to buy another book. And then for future books and subsequent launches and promotions, having a good books page that's going to be interesting. So if you've got a ton of books like Pauline has here, you can organize them really sensibly like this. And when people visit your site, they can see all the books that you've got, and they can filter by what they're interested in if you write in multiple genres. So if I'm interested in romance, I can filter that down. I can click through to the romance books, and I have links here where I can go buy them. Equally important is when someone does join your email list, being able to actually deliver the free book like on this page. So people have a multiple variety of different devices they could read on, and having instructions for them on exactly how to do that is incredibly important to avoid all those emails from people who are getting frustrated because they can't load their free book onto their device. Many different ways of laying this out, but the principles are having a site that looks professional and functions in the way it needs to meet your goals. So either getting someone on an email list, like on my homepage here, that's my focus. So people can scroll down, they can read more about me, they can go look at my books, but my main focus at the top is getting people onto my email list. You might have a bundle of books that you want to give away like Scott does here. Scott's a very successful sci-fi author. He gives away a bundle of 3 books to people when they join his email list, and then they're more likely to buy the subsequent releases when they come up. We've also got examples from Libby Kirsch as well. She writes thrillers, but it really doesn't matter what genre you write in, it's the principles that you have to apply. So whether it's romance or thrillers or non-fiction, how-to books, autobiographies, whatever it might be, if you've set up your site in a way that's laser focused on exactly what it is you want somebody to do. Like here, Pauline's got links through to her latest release on pre-order. That's her focus for her homepage. And then on the other pages, they have different focuses depending on why people are visiting. So if they're visiting the books page, you want to be able to get them to filter. If they're visiting a landing page, you want them to be able to actually sign up for the email list as quickly as possible. Or the thank you page, directing them to an upsell or directing them with instructions on what to do next. And it really doesn't matter what genre you're writing in. These are the principles that you need to apply. And when you build something like this, and as you've seen, it's only like 4 or 5 pages. When you can build this up, this is a machine that then works for you. Like the marble run, once it's built, it'll just continue to work. As long as you don't kind of knock it over or let the cat jump on it, it will continue to work. And then you can go and focus on other stuff. So as long as you're driving traffic, the attention part to the top of the funnel, to the top of the machine, then the machine will then do the work for you, get people onto that email list, send out those automated emails, move people through those 4 stages, through attention, interest, desire, and that action, that call to action to go buy the book. And that's how you build an engaged audience, and that's how you can scale up your sales. And then when you want to drive more traffic, you can start looking at using paid advertising, and that will just explode the effects of this, because the more people you get in the top end, the more people are going to go on your email list and the more people who are going to buy. And as I mentioned at the beginning, all the website pages you've seen on here are designed and built by our AuthorKats website software and service. Now, AuthorKats is a WordPress theme designed specifically for authors. So we have all of these pages included as standard. So landing pages, thank you pages, book catalogs with filters on there for genres, different pen names, book delivery systems. It hooks up to your email marketing provider. It does everything you need to do with no third-party plugins, no messing around with external software or trying to fiddle things to work. It all just functions right out of the box. And we also include a concierge service for free as well. So we can actually set this up for you and get you up and running as quickly as possible. So if you're not currently on WordPress or you don't have your own self-hosted website, we can help with everything. If you want to transfer an old site onto AuthorKats, we can help you do that. We can build a staging site for you so that everything is done kind of out of the eyes of the public, so that you don't have to go live until it's 100% ready. We basically will take care of all the really boring techie stuff so that you can focus on getting the fun stuff done, like writing your next book and getting everything looking the way you want it to. So basically the way it works is at authorkats.com, you will see our regular public offering, which is a monthly payment or an annual payment with a free trial. But for Black Friday, I've set up this very special waitlist here where you can sign up, and we'll let you know on Black Friday, on Friday the 29th, when our lifetime deal goes live. So instead of paying a monthly fee or an annual fee, it's just a single one-off payment. We'll handle all the boring techie stuff, and we will set you up with a template that looks a little bit like this, which is our light template, or our dark template, or our bright template. And then all you need to do is then swap out the images and the copy for your own. So I'll put some links to these underneath the video so you can go play with them, but you'll see they all function so that you can kind of click through and you can see what stuff might look like once it's finished. So a few examples here, and it's all nicely cat themed as well, so you can just check it out and have a little explore. It's got a blog built in as well. It's got a cross promotions page, so if you're teaming up with other authors, it's really easy just to drop their covers and descriptions in here so that you can cross promote each other's books and have it all on one website, which makes life super easy. And then all the other stuff that you'd expect with any website is included as standard as well. So take a look at the demos, and if you want to get set up with a website that looks and functions a little bit like the ones that you've seen today, here's another one from me for my sci-fi series. If you want to get something that kind of looks and functions like this, check out the link underneath this video, join the waitlist, and I will send you all the details on Black Friday, Friday the 29th. And if you're watching this after December the 2nd and the lifetime deal is no longer available, I will put a different link underneath that's going to get you something cool as well. So don't worry, I've got you sorted. So that's it from me on the computer for now. I hope this has been helpful. As you've seen, it doesn't take a million different complicated pages to get something like this to work. It just requires applying some simple principles and making sure that everything runs smoothly and works together well. And that's going to get more people onto your email list, more people on your platform and your audience who are interested in you, and that's going to drive more sales in the long run. So for a quick recap and to sign off, it's back to the office.
And that's it from me today. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button just underneath my smiling face. And if you'd like to get hold of our AuthorKats Black Friday special, check the link in the description. It's only going to be open for a very limited time. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, but otherwise I will see you again very, very soon.